few years ago, I did a review of a book on William Scorpion, a veteran singer from Singapore. I made a few unflattering remarks about his singing, and William has come all the way from Thailand to get even. Let's see if this veteran still packs a punch. Good morning, William.
Hi, Junyi. We finally met.
Yes. So, how's the performance about 2 nights ago at the Red Noodle Bar, I heard?
Yeah, I had a great time. It was a private function for Ford Automobile Company. They put a function together for Chinese New Year. So I was specially invited and flew in to just do this occasion for them. I enjoyed myself, and because most of the people that attended, they were my ex-fans. You know, they were young boys then, and now they are all in their 40s, you know, some, yeah. So it was fun. It was like a regathering of old friends. I had a great time.
I saw the video, the live Facebook video of your sound test.
Okay.
My son saw it as well.
Okay.
He told me that you look more in your 30s than in your 50s.
Okay, that's very flattering.
What is it that you do that you keep the kind of energy level, able to perform until midnight, that kind of thing?
I think, Junyi, before my retirement, I left the scene, I think, when I was about 50, 51, yeah? And so I'm 57 this year. So it was a nightly affair for me those days. I start work about 11 and I end up like 5 a.m. in the morning. So it was a routine then, but now I think if most people that followed me on my interviews and papers and stuff like that, I've moved to Thailand now, so I live a very normal lifestyle. I work with horses. I rescued horses that are abused or injured, and then I keep them in my own private stable in Phayao in northern Thailand. So these horses are what I would say, going through rehabilitation. So I wake up very early in the morning then, and then I exercise them. And if they have injury, I will treat them myself. So I think I spent a lot of time in the morning or in the late evening when it's not too hot, exercising the horses, riding the horses, and I get a lot of sunshine, fresh air. And northern Thailand is beautiful, so I think it makes me it rejuvenated my life, I think, sort of. After 30 years in the business, I was always not seeing the sun then when I was in Singapore. In fact, I finish work, I have to quickly go back before the sun comes out. So I think in a certain way, a lot of friends, they did see a change, say you look much healthier. So I say thanks to my changed lifestyle, thanks to the horses. I think, yeah, probably that's what makes me look much healthier now.
And some years ago, I remember seeing an advertisement with you promoting some health product. Do you remember that?
Was it the soft shell turtle vitamin?
Something like that.
It was a TV commercial.
Yes, I think it was a TV commercial.
That was a very expensive health product from Japan, made from the cartilage of the soft shell turtle. Very, very expensive product. So and they approached me to do the commercial for them. Yeah.
Are you still taking it?
No. I got a free supply. I can't remember, a year or so or something like that. But I didn't really eat it. Now that I mean the contract's over, I can say I didn't eat it, or not even one tablet.
Okay, so do you perform in Thailand? Do you sing?
No, but I don't, because like I said, I'm retired. I'm on a retirement visa, so technically I'm not allowed to work in Thailand. So I don't perform or work like per se. But what I do now, I teach horse riding part-time. I train horses part-time for private clients in Thailand, and all this money that are made from doing this goes into the foundation, in the Horse Rescue Foundation. So basically, I'm not working at all there. So, and what about my daily life, my expenses in Thailand? Those are taken care of by me renting out my apartment in Singapore. So basically, I'm living a very simple lifestyle, nothing exorbitant. So I'm comfortable, but I don't need to work just to survive now. No, so wow. I don't work.
That's great. How often do you have these performances in Singapore?
In Singapore, I come back, I think, lately quite often, at least once a month. So mainly through contacts from clubs that that have known me, and they quite a few private functions. So I think quite a lot now. Once a month. Like next month I'm coming back again.
How do you maintain your fan base?
I think social media, Juni, I'm on Facebook, and then most of them follow me on Facebook. So they sort of know what's happening, where am I, and yeah. So they are updated. I'm updated.
Is the money good?
Sorry, again?
Is the money good?
I think the money is good. The money is. I think in general, I think the people respect me for what I can do. So they pay quite well, I would say. They pay quite well.
Okay, and in that sound test video, I saw that
technical run.
Yes, I saw your most of the songs you sang. They are like covers.
Yes.
Do you have any original songs
Yes,
which are just written for you?
I did one original composition for Honey Canyon label, and that was a compilation of all the artists that was performing for St. James at that time. So I did an original song. Yeah, it's written by the same composer that produced for Zhang Xingzhe. So I sang one of his original songs. It's called 哪里是悲伤. The track is no more on sale now because it was sold in what was that? A big music store in Singapore, HMV or
yes.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yes.
I think the store is no more in Singapore.
No more. No.
Okay. So when it was released, they only released I think 2,000 copies. So I think it's completely sold out. So it's not available. But I still have one track with me, and it was produced and arranged by George Leong. I think everybody knows Josh Leong. Josh Leong has arranged for all the big superstars. He was formerly from Rock Records. So I have the great honor of having Josh Leong rearrange the song, produce the song. So I'm very proud of this original piece I sang.
Recording artists
Yes.
finding it more difficult to sell their songs,
Right.
digital media and all that.
Right.
So it's becoming more and more popular for them to perform live.
Yes.
So does that give you an edge?
The reason I perform live because I started off as a club singer. I always started singing live, and I think the energy, the response, the collaboration that you get, is immediate. What you say, what you do, what you sing, even when you walk, you can get an immediate response from the audience. So that's a very strong feedback to put you in the next element, So it's a very exciting, very very exciting, very fulfilling feeling. And in fact, many times after you do a live show, especially let's say you did a 1 hour, 2 hour concert, so to say, you feel very down when it's over. You just hope that it never ends. That kind of feeling. You go back to your dressing room, you sit down, shut the door. Sometimes you break down. I broke down when I was in China. I broke down. I did my concert there. I did a 3 hour for 3 nights. Yeah, and the last night I went back into my dressing room. I just locked the door. I didn't let my roadie, my assistant come in. I said, just leave me alone. And I broke down because it was like, I cannot comprehend the fact that tomorrow night I won't be singing here anymore because it was so good. So I think a lot of artists would have went through this. For recording, it's a prerequisite to put you in a next realm, the next platform. Especially you're unknown. You probably hope to do recording, and then that launch you to out in the millions. It depends on how big a record company is, the label is. But for me, happiness comes from singing live. So I'm not so much into the recording. I might think of doing a compilation later part, talking to some friends, but if I do, I want to sing old songs that people know. I don't want to sing anything people have not heard of. So that's my personal point of view. I would sing songs that people have heard, they know about it, they've seen it, they know the melody, but I'm going to sing it my way.
So you're still passionate about singing?
I'm very passionate about it. I retired. I retired from the scene to get away from the fatigue, and not so much because I don't want to sing anymore. I'm very passionate. I enjoy going on stage. I enjoy working with live musicians, and I enjoy the live audience very, very much. But I don't want to feel the fatigue of having a routine nightly job singing, and that's a routine. So I don't want a routine. I had a routine for 30 years, so I think that's enough for me.
So when did horses come in?
It came in quite a lot. I took 2 breaks in my career, but not long. I took 2 breaks in my career. Waiting for the next big thing to happen. I mean, if most Singaporeans knows me, I sing in the biggest club in Singapore. The biggest club that ever opened, I'll be there. I'm always the first artist to launch it. So after St. James Power Station, and then the last place I performed, of course, was Shanghai Dolly. I was a director there as well, and I managed the artists, the place itself. It's a public listed company as well. So after that, I felt, what else? Is there going to be anything big coming up in Singapore? And then, of course, the scene was sort of affected by the clubs that start having foreign China artists, other artists that comes that the industry don't sing, but they stand on stage and they hang the money and the garland and I don't know, whatever you can see quite often now, right? So that put a very big dent on local talents that can really sing, because it belittles a true artist in the sense that you compete with people that cannot sing, but they make like thousands and thousands of dollars a night. So that affected me a little bit. But I feel I'm not against it. Yeah, I feel that if there are artists that can sing and can perform, and they get rewarded through money in the forms of garland, by all means, it's a sign of appreciation, right? So, but if they cannot sing, I think they shouldn't be singing. And that's not fair to the people that are really professional in the industry. That's a personal point of view. So that put a dent on it. So I felt that it affected a lot of the clubs that they have to shut down. If you want to, you have to open one that you hire foreign talents that cannot sing. So that was quite a dent to the local music industry, so to say. I'm not sure how bad it is now because I've left for 5 years, 6 years now, so I'm not sure.
And the horses, when did
Why
your
the horses?
passion?
I have passion for horses since I was young.
Okay.
And I know riding in Singapore is very expensive, so I knew that it would not happen. It only happened after I was in my early 30s when I can afford it. So I started riding in the Singapore Polo Club, and then later I became a member of the Greendale Riding School, and then they started setting up a team of riders to compete for Singapore in Malaysia. I mean, we compete almost every month in Malaysia. So that was my calling. I knew that this is going to be my backup the day I retire, because horses has always been my first love. Music comes from passion and making money to survive, but horses has always been my first love. So I then decided to qualify as a professional coach. So I went for my qualifications, Australian certified qualifications, and then did a BHSOL, then did the FEI, Federation Equestrian International. That's the international body that controls and puts up all the world challenges, like the Olympics. It's under the FEI. So I went to qualify as an FEI coach as well. So I did my qualifications, I think the year 2011, I went for my exam. So I'm a level 1 FEI coach now. There are 3 stages, so I'm going to do my level 2 soon, and then the level 3. So it was a backup with passion, something that I know that I'm going to do. So, and now the horses I set up a horse rescue project in Thailand, in Phayao, in northern Thailand. Got a small piece of land about 10-15 years ago. So I have 10 horses in residence now, abused, injured, and I look after them with only 1 staff. Retrain them, rehabilitate them, but not to be resold, and they are not working as a full-time like a riding school horse. They are there to retire, and I also teach in Thailand, and I also train horses in Thailand. So I'm living a life that I always wanted, so I'm really happy now.
Okay, so you explained quite a bit about why you went to Thailand inside your book,
Yes.
Sanuk Jing Jing.
Right.
many people are not able to understand why a Singaporean who is supposed to be so,
Right.
fortunate, living in one of the safest places in the
Right,
world, one of the richest country in the world, and
Right.
why would he want to move to Thailand? So, but from that book until now, I do see some changes in you already. So, will there be further changes? Would you still be exploring? Would you still be
When Junyi, you notice the changes. What are the changes that you notice about me?
maybe in terms of appearance?
In appearance, okay.
Yeah, the way you dress, the way you.
Okay. Probably most of the time when Chunis see me, I'm always on stage or on TV, so probably don't get the chance to see me in casual clothes or I don't know, like something like what I wear today. Yeah. I say changes attitude, my attitude in life. Chuni, yeah, we are Singaporean. We live in this environment. A lot of things are taken for granted, in a certain way. Yeah, you don't have to travel so inconveniently in a certain way. I'm not offending anyone. I'm just saying that as compared to what I used to live in Singapore, everything is very convenient here. You walk a few steps, you get a bus stop. You walk a few steps, you get a train station, and you get taxi stands everywhere. So you sort of forgot, or you forget how fortunate you are. And when you go to a foreign country, no, I'm not going to specify anyone in general. You felt that you appreciate life a little bit more. In this era, I don't think they would have the choice of what I made. I started in the early 80s. Things are not so complicated then. I mean, social media was not a big thing, so artists still could sell records. Artists still can make a living, and of course those days the clubs they don't have this garland thingy, so if you cannot sing, you don't get a job. So I think, but now they have to compete against a lot of other elements, and it could be very tough for them. But of course, now the young people, they have different ways to go about it. They produce their own music, put it on social media, and get I don't know what to call that, gratuity or whatever via a thing. But then the satisfaction of going on a live stage, singing in front of a live audience that appreciates and enjoys the music, that's rare. And I'm glad I went through that. So right now I'm not sure. Right now you see the big sellout of the big artists, big name artists that come, because for a young, unknown, aspiring artist, it's going to be very, very hard in this era. Yeah.
Alright, for someone who has seen you performing during the 80s and all that, and someone seeing you right now, the impression will be quite different. Back then, somebody who has seen you might think that, wow, this guy must be some abing, must be some, bimbo and all that. But after, actually talking to you now, we can see that you're very articulate, you are multilingual. So even in spite of the lack of academic achievements and all these things, you can actually be a person with a lot of depth, with very clear thinking. Yeah. So what is it that you can share with the rest of Singaporeans who tend to be very narrow-minded and judgmental about people who have not done well in their studies and all that?
I wouldn't say I didn't do well in my study, but I didn't take it as a path for my future. I never take it as a part that if I have to study very hard, then I go to college, then I go to varsity, and after that I'm going to become a doctor. I'm going to become someone that already sort of make a living out of academic performance. I knew that I have different callings, and I shared earlier in private with you the reason why. Of course, I'm not going to reveal it to the public one. even when I was in school, I was a very avid reader, especially non-fiction stuff. I want to know, and I'm very into animals, into nature, into anthropology. I want to know why people make certain things, especially ancestors. Why these prehistoric people make certain things, and why does animal do certain things? Why do flower plants do certain? Why are they colored this way, and why are they don't come out in the day, and why do they come out in the night? Why some are nocturnal and why some are not? So these has always been questions on my mind. I remember when I was in school, I was not physically fit, so I was blessed that I was a librarian. So during physical exercise, I will be a librarian. I'll be in the library, just chopping books people come and borrow. And I read a lot. I'll borrow books, 2 books a week. And my sister, I have 3 sisters, and I would take their library cards. So I get to read at least like 6 books a week. So I was a very avid reader. I was very curious, and if you can see through this interview, English was my first language. So Chinese was a no-no. So I'm not good at that. And in fact, when I started singing, I couldn't even read Chinese. I was an F9 case, I reviewed to you earlier. If I go into an exam hall, I'll just write my name and I'll just go out. So then, but I challenged myself. So after some years, when I became a singer, especially I sing in Mandarin and Cantonese, I want to know the lyrics of the song. I want to be able to pronounce the sound of the words I sing, the correct diction, the tone. So I make an effort to learn. And I would say my Mandarin is very good. I wouldn't even say pass. I say my Mandarin is very good. You can challenge me to do the next half in Mandarin, the interview. But you're right, Chun Bi. I never think I'm going to be an academic. But teaching has always been something in my blood, I think. And so right now I enjoy teaching because I'm a writing coach now. So in a certain way, I'm a teacher. I teach, and if you have some certain level of tertiary education, it puts you at advantage. Like if you really downright abbing, I think it's going to be very hard, because when it comes to a certain point, you cannot express yourself. If you cannot express yourself, you cannot put forward your idea or something that you want the other person to understand, to activate the thoughts in your mind. So that's important. Tertiary, I mean, if you have to basically at least go to school. So I wouldn't say never mind and then be a hawker one day. No, I mean, if you want to be a hawker, why don't you be a hawker that you can read and write, right? So at least you can strike a conversation with your customer. I think that's my personal point of view.
Do you have any plans for the future?
Right now, I'm enjoying my retirement. I'm enjoying what I'm doing daily, on a daily basis. And maybe having lived in Thailand for a couple of years, in Thailand, there is a saying that don't think about your past and don't worry about your future. You have to live in the present. Because if you think about your past, it's not going to come back. If you think about your future, it's not happening yet. So live in the moment. So I think this is something I adapted to the Thai way of life. So if you ask me what's any plans future, I can't really give you a straight answer. I'm still living in the moment, and I just want to enjoy every second of my life right now.
And your next performance would be?
Well, I'm coming back in March, probably for the Singapore Equestrian Federation fundraising ball. If it's confirmed, I'll be back on 3rd of March to perform. Yeah.
All right.
Right.
So hope to see you then.
Sure.
Thank you.
Pleasure.